This house is 430 years old. It's been in my family for the past 19 generations. I'm the 19th generation itself. And we've been trying to maintain this house as a heritage home. You can see here, right here, the leather. So this was the man's chair. There it has arms, and that would be the woman's chair. She wouldn't have arms, she would just put her hands on the legs and just be calmly sitting. This one is one of our masterpieces. So there's only 3 pieces like this in the world. One in the Portuguese Embassy in England, one donated by us to the V&A, the Victorian National Albert Museum, and this one, which all 3 pieces are inlaid with ivory, ebony, and teakwood. It took 3 years to make each of them, and around 4,000, 5,000 hours of marketing. Here is where we still organize lunches, high teas, and dinners. So we try to provide an experience to our guests, as our family has been here for a lot of generations, and our staff, a lot of them has also been, and they've kept the recipes which we owe with the family for the longest time. And so we try to provide that experience by providing traditional Goan meals as well as Portuguese meals, as well as some variety, but that's the experience, mainly the Goan traditional meal.
Around 435-year-old in the Portuguese house located in Loutolim is the Figueiredo mansion. It's open for a stay and a museum where you can enjoy a different side of Goa. Let's check it out. We are here at the Figueiredo House with the owner.
Hi, my name is Pedro Figueiredo. All around, basically, this house contains the pieces that were acquired by the family for the past 400 years. So it has pieces from China, Japan, Mozambique, Indonesia, different parts of Europe. And all throughout this are Italian tiles and French tiles, hydraulic, different in each of the rooms to conceptualize whatever purpose they saw fit. But you know, it shows Goa as this multi-diverse cultural background that Goa has. It's very important to maintain this, because it is not, some people, you know, address it to as, oh, there's a Portuguese, the Portuguese house. We, or for us, it's not at all. It is a Goan or an Indo-Portuguese home. It's part of our personal culture. And so, you know, at the time, this was made as a private area and this as an event area. So it was made in a much more ostentatious way. So it was made to have the big balls, the big events, the big dinners itself for all the family. We used to be around, a lot of them, around 40 to 50 family members. So you have basically, between you have Hindu chairs which have some of the carvings which are related to our Hindu background, as we were Hindus converted to Christians. You have here, these are Portuguese chairs. You can see here, right here, the leather. So this was the man's chair. There it has arms, and that would be the woman's chair. She wouldn't have arms, she would just put her hands on the legs and just be calmly sitting. This one is one of our masterpieces. So there's only 3 pieces like this in the world. One in the Portuguese Embassy in England, one donated by us to the V&A, the Victorian National Albert Museum, and this one, which all 3 pieces are inlaid with ivory, ebony, and teakwood. It took 3 years to make each of them, and around 4,000, 5,000 hours of marketing. Here is where we still organize lunches, high teas, and dinners. So we try to provide an experience to our guests, as our family has been here for a lot of generations, and our staff, a lot of them has also been, and they've kept the recipes which we owe with the family for the longest time. And so we try to provide that experience by providing traditional Goan meals as well as Portuguese meals, as well as some variety, but that's the experience, mainly the Goan traditional meal. And we can make a long table from one side to the other. As you see, there's numbers even, so they all have a fitting to fit themselves to a long table. We can fit here up to 65, 70 people. Then we use a round table for bigger events itself. But we try to do any kind of thing that would remit us, let's say, to our past, because we used to have here the 50 sitting dinners. You know, when I was young, 2004, we had a huge dinner. That set, which was right over there, was used. It's an East Indian company set, and it was my first Holy Communion. It was my oldest cousin's engagement, and so in that we had a big dinner at that time, and that set was used. I'd never used it again. I'd be afraid something would break nowadays. So, even on top, the motif is a representation of the arrival of Vasco da Gama to Calicut. So you have the Portuguese boat, which is the nau. As you know, in Hindi even, one of the words for boat is nau. So actually, for Portuguese, is a type of boat. There is the galeão, there is caravela, and there is the nau. So the nau was the boat that Vasco da Gama used to reach Calicut. And then you have on the wave, the mermaid, which is part of the seafaring mythology, and the bird symbolizes the arrival. He would normally release a dove. If it comes back, that means there was no land. If it didn't come back, that means there would be land somewhere around. It had found a food supply. So So that's how the representation goes all around. This was the sari that my grandmother used when she was a member of parliament in Portugal, the National Assembly at the time. She was the representative of Goa in the Portuguese parliament, the first lady as representative of Goa. And so this was between 65 and 69, so right after 62, after 61, well, after the liberation. And it was a time where Goans were not able to come due to their visas were not given. And so my grandmother was fighting for the Goan rights, for people to be able to come back, as well as for the law for up to the third generation of Goans to be able to get Portuguese nationality. She tried to fight for that in Portugal as well at those times. So you know, the family always contributed a lot in terms of ambassadors, judges, members of parliament all around. Now, for us, we're much simpler people. We just want to maintain the house. I think that's all. Almost go. They thought about everything itself at the time. The Jesuit priests were the main architects in South Goa when the house was expanded. Who were the laborers, who were the masons? It was the Hindus, it was the Muslims. Again, one of the points why I say the only part of Portuguese here were the trades and the architects. All the labor, all the work, all the materials are local in Goan. This is the homestay side, which was closed for 40-50 years, and we tried to restore this basically to keep on again another concept, which is staying in the house. There was always 20 to 30 family members and 30 to 40 staff members living in the house. And so in here, this is the breakfast room. As you see, all these chairs are still with the initials of the family. And on the flooring, this is all terracotta. But you have two breakfast rooms so that the guests can either mingle in a long room or be separated and have their own private space. But we normally like the community sense, so we like everyone to kind of stick to each other, meet new people, that's the whole point. And you can always enjoy with a nice view because the sun rises right from there. And so it's quite beautiful in the morning, especially at 6:30. Now that motif is still original. As you see, all of the house, it's all hand painted. There's no wallpaper in any part of the house. And that motif is still original from 230 years ago. As you see, we just painted around it. The rest has all been repainted. So that's how we go. Whatever we can maintain, we'll maintain. Whatever we feel need restoring, we'll restore it and try to do our best in it. This is my mother's kitchen. So she has her own fully modern kitchen. Kitchens and bathrooms are the only thing we make fully modern. Because it's hygiene and we feel everything should be clean. This, you see, is Georgina. And so Georgina was my grand aunt, and she was the first lady judge in the High Court in India, as well as the first lady to inherit this house. And so this room is named after her because this used to be the bed that she used to sleep when she was young, and the other one was my grandmother's. They used to sleep in the same room when they were young, as well as the cupboard here was also hers, but this was also used by her at those times. So again, creating this concept as to the rooms, giving it an old feel, but it was a little concept of the family who used to live here. So right here, this is Amalia, which is my great-grandmother's name. Throughout here, you'll see that this cupboard and the bed were given to her as a dowry. So you have here her initials as well. The A, G, and F of Amalia Gomes de Figueiredo, as well as behind the pillows in the bed. So basically this was one of the first rooms we also did. Again, you see the terracotta tiles as it was in the breakfast area. So this was the connection to the breakfast room. As we closed up down there. This was the connection to my mother's kitchen, and both of them again closed to make this suite bedroom. And this you have again a fully modern washroom.
So if you're looking to explore Goa that goes beyond beaches, and if you are in South Goa, then don't forget to visit the Figueiredo Mansion in Loutolim. For more such travel related content, don't forget to follow Gomantak Times YouTube channel, your gateway to Goa.